Welcome everybody to round 1 of the SCG IQ here in GameSwap Mason, courtesy of Top Deck Productions. As always, I am the handsome John Douglas, joined today by not Taylor, but
Adam Olds.
The Adam Olds.
I concur that I'm not Taylor.
You concur?
Yes.
Perfect. As long as there's like a good round of concurring going on, I think I can maintain my normal commentary.
Can we get a concur count of 1?
Concur count. Someone needs to make a punt counter except for concur counters. Anyway, I got an exciting round 1 matchup for you here. The ever Jeskai Nahiri Victor Kurz playing Jeskai Nahiri. I think it's a little early for Victor Kurz. He looks a little out of sorts.
Yeah, he's not as chipper as he normally is.
Maybe a little grumpy even. Yeah.
I don't know if he got to hit the gym this morning or not.
Oh man.
But he clearly works out, people.
He clearly works out. Look at that. Look at the cut on that T-shirt. You can just tell.
He is single and cruising for a bruising at the same time, so he's a double triple threat.
The old double triple. His opponent today, Nick Lutes, regular here at the store. Not sure if you guys have seen him on camera very often, but piloting the green-white Hate Bears.
So who do you think's actually favoring this match? Do you think it just goes to the Nahiri player going long, or do you think green-white can play a land destruction attrition game to control Victor?
I think a lot of it's going to depend on Victor's draw. There's some hands that he's going to have to keep that are not going to match up well against the Hate Bears deck, especially in Game 1. So I think Hate Bears will do well Game 1, and then the post-sideboard games are slightly favored by Victor as he gets to take out some of the more dead cards.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Nick's playing things like Gaddock Teague main deck. I'm not sure what else the green is for traditionally. Usually see like white-black with Eldrazi. I'm not terribly familiar with the green-white build.
It's usually like Knight of the Reliquary, so you have a reasonable finisher, and Noble Hierarch. As we see here, the Noble Hierarch off of, I believe, a Razor Ridge Thicket.
Is it still a Vile deck, or is this just? I mean, he played a Noble Hierarch, so that's probably not a Vile deck.
I would think not.
Yeah. So is he building up to like Wiltleaf?
That would be nice. I don't know if he's got that in the deck, but it seems reasonable against the Liliana decks to have that in the main.
Yeah, I'm also interested to see if he's a company deck.
Company would be nice.
Yeah.
Definitely give him a little bit of an advantage here.
Yeah, Todd Stevens had some luck with the green-white company at the team modern event for Star City Games.
Oh, sure.
The deck's mono 3 drops, so I don't see how people play it going forward, but
yeah, I mean, every once in a while you'll get a deck like that that just kind of comes out of nowhere.
So what's Nick hoping to do here? Fetch land out of the Reliquary sort of start?
That would be nice to get a good clock on the board. An Arbiter wouldn't be bad either. I did see a company there as a draw for turn.
Okay.
Something to hinder Victor's mana development.
So if he also has Leonin Arbiters, obviously, because he's a Taxes style deck. How many basics does Victor play? Is that going to take an impact on the game? I
would think so. Victor can't play a lot of basics because he's 3-color and also playing Cryptic Command.
Yeah. Bloodwind's pretty popular at GameSwap, so I'm sure he has a couple basics regardless. But
I'm sure he's got like 3 to 4.
Yeah. Also, his main win condition if you shut down Nahiri is the Celestial Colonnade. Just drew those, so obviously Ghost Quarter's a good card there. Right.
Surprising to see no 2-drop from Nick. That's a very strange turn 2 for Hate Bears.
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid for him, especially on the play. If he just untaps and says go after playing a land to hold up company, because they're in the space of then you're letting Victor dictate the pace of the game. Because I mean, are you going to shove your counterspell at the end of turn? Are you going to shove your Collected Company at the end of Victor's turn?
Yeah, and if you don't have a 2-drop, odds are you don't have something to follow up with that, unless he draws another company here.
And then, conversely, he also has the advantage on the play, though, because you get to company before the control player has a chance to Supreme Verdict.
Right.
So especially if he goes into, like, Leonin Arbiter, And then I think he has a Ghost Court in his hand. So he can untap with that in play, then I think he has an advantage on the long game here. But he can't let him get to 4 mana. If he gets to 4 mana, then Nick has to play completely at instant speed.
Right. So here's the Ghost Quarter.
Okay, so it goes for the main phase company.
Yeah, we want to make sure it resolves.
Yeah, I mean you don't want the mana disadvantage of getting it remanded.
There's the Arbiter.
Can't see what else. Is that an Aethersworn Canonist?
I think it was a Smiter.
A Smiter. I like Smiter a lot.
Yeah, Smiter seems reasonable. Pretty solid off of a Noble Hierarch turn 1 as well.
Yep, Smiter, Arbiter.
Smiter, Arbiter, there we go.
Okay, I mean I think this is about the... Outside of playing a 2-drop, this is a pretty good start for the Hate Bears deck. Because Victor next turn is going to have to make a decision if he's going to deal with one of the threats or not. Either way, he's attacking for 5 next turn, if not 6.
Right, and with this Ghost Quarter already on the board, he almost assuredly has to deal with this Leonin Arbiter if it's possible.
And Victor does not have red mana, so that puts obviously Nick on, him on path to exile. Also, he can't Electrolyze. I'm not sure if he's playing that, but traditionally Jeskai players have Electrolyze and bolts.
It's interesting because the way Leonin Arbiter works, if he paths the Leonin Arbiter...
I believe he just gets a land because it doesn't see it anymore, right?
Right, he gets to search, but if he paths the Smiter, which is obviously not as good despite being a much bigger immediate threat, then he won't get to search. And really, the Leonin Arbiter is the bigger threat here. So
yeah. So how do you feel if Victor just path the Smiter and then left 2 men up to be able to search? Because I mean that'd be my turn of Nick. If I have nothing else to play and he pass my guy, I might think about just Ghost Courting my opponent. At least waiting until maybe on Victor's upkeep the next turn.
Right. If you do it on his upkeep and then he pays the 2, you just basically time walked him.
Yeah.
I've seen some lists of
timely reinforcements.
Okay, so we've got timely reinforcements. We get some soldiers. Main deck timely reinforcements.
Yeah,
wow.
He's hedging really hard against burn there. I'm not sure how I feel about that because that card's pretty dead in any sort of creature matchup. I guess it buys him time. But now he just gets to wreck his mana base. If he has a second Ghost Quarter, imagine if he had a Knight of the Reliquary here.
Oh, he drew a Nahiri. Sorry, not a Nahiri.
Dahlia. Yeah, that's great. He cannot trade his Arbiter away, so he's going to have to just attack a couple times here with just the Smiter.
Yeah, just attacking with the Smiter is fine. You only have to do it once, and then even if he kills the Smiter, you can still attack with the Arbiter unfettered.
So... Alright, so he does that. So Nick has some choice here. As a Collected Company in hand, or he can just play the Thalia. Because he can 5 mana, play the Collected Company next turn anyways. Do you play the Thalia here, or do you wait and Collected Company?
I like... So you can Ghost Quarter and Collected Company.
Yeah, so you could do that all in Victor's upkeep, too.
Right. I would definitely Ghost Quarter.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Oh, and the draw is
Engineered Explosives.
Engineered Explosives.
Yeah.
The draw for the only land Victor has is a Flooded Strand.
I would. You can go ahead and explain the value of Ghost Courting in his upkeep, but I would definitely go after Ghost Quarter here.
Yeah. So Ghost Courting during his upkeep makes it so he has to, if he wants the land, he has to spend it before his turn.
See, Nick could have prevented this in Victor's first main phase. Oh, I would also get him in response. I
don't think you can respond.
The payment? Can you respond to the payment?
Can't respond to the payment.
Yeah, see, this is why I also would have Ghost Quartered him before I cast the Collected Company.
This gives you the ability to resolve your Collected Company still, unless he has a negate.
Negate or remand. Either or.
Remand's actually okay for you. Like, that's not the end of the world. You definitely don't want to Ghost Quarter in a turn.
Absolutely not, because you must pay the 2 mana. Again, on my turn, or again in his upkeep, I go after his red source.
I would do it on my turn at this point.
Yeah.
If he taps out. If he doesn't tap out, then there's no point. All right, so here's the remand. Not the end of the world. Gets it back. Don't ghost quarter into turn.
Yes, please. He's already paid the tax there.
Successfully does not ghost quarter into turn.
Thankfully. That's always bad when people aren't sure of how an interaction works.
Especially with their own cards.
Yeah, Nick obviously knows how the interaction works, but some players might try to ghost quarter there. Again, Leonid Arbiters once per turn. You have to pay the 2. Now, if there's 2 instances of Leonid Arbiters,
you have to pay
4. 2 and then 2.
And then 2.
Yeah. That's especially important in any style of Vile deck. If you don't respond to the Aether Vial activation, they get the second Leonid Arbiter in when you try to fetch. You catch people trying to fetch on the stack. I might have just gone for the Collected Company again here. I absolutely would ghost quarter in his upkeep.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so he's just not using a resource that's available to him. One of the best resources of the green X style Death and Taxes decks is the interaction between Leonid Arbiter and Ghost Quarter. Being able to tax somebody's mana base, especially a control deck that needs to hit. I mean, basically their game plan is to hit land, then stabilize and win with card advantage.
Right.
Leonid Arbiter shuts that down, and he's not taking advantage of it.
Yeah, he's not taking advantage of it at all. And if Victor has a Supreme Verdict in his hand, any land lets him Supreme Verdict, clear out the board this turn. Obviously, Thalia is putting a little bit of a tax on that. Arbiter putting a little bit of a tax on it, not letting him do it off of a fetch land, but this is a risky play regardless.
Yeah, thankfully, the Arbiter's still keeping him off of EE here.
Right.
EE for 2, and then activate because it costs an extra for the Thalia.
Well, he can just EE for 1.
And it would 2. Oh, that's how the Rosanna action works now?
Yeah.
Because colors. Okay.
So if he announces Engineering Explosives for 1, Thalia adds 1 mana to it. If he pays 2 different colors mana for those 2 mana, then it'll come in with 2 counters on it because Sunburst just looks at the costs.
Okay, that's really cool. That's an interesting interaction.
So he can.
I assume he's asking that question here.
I would assume so.
Unfortunately, it looks like he drew a fetch land.
Right.
But I think that's his game plan.
Well, you can still do it off of fetch land because it's 1 for the EE, 1 for the Thalia attacks, and 2 to blow it up.
He won't be able to fetch this turn, though.
He'll be able to fetch after he blows up the EE on his turn.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a really good point, yeah.
But in response, you'll be able to get one of his probably a Sacred Foundry, his red.
Yeah, I definitely hit his red mana here. I assume that's a question Victor asked.
I would assume so.
On that, I'm not terribly excited to spend 2 mana to bolt anything that's out there.
So now with this,
all right. So I think that's just a miscommunication there. We understand what his intentions are, but this is competitive REL. So does he have to pay 3 here because he announced 2?
I believe so, but Nick Lutes has the Thalia, so it's kind of up to him to say something about it, I guess.
Yeah, because technically, yeah, I don't
drawing
like
a card.
I don't like this. Again, we're not exercising. He announced for 2. So this looks like Nick's just a little unfamiliar with the deck.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So what's Victor trying to do here? Obviously, just going to clear the board.
Right. He'll be able to get both the Arbiter and the Thalia here. In response, Nick could potentially hit the one of the lands with Ghost Quarter, but he left the 2 up. So, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to blow it right now or just wait.
I would just wait till the end of turn.
I mean, it's only 4 damage and you're at 19, so...
Yeah. It's definitely a resource he needs to use.
Thanks for the friendly reminder that the table spotter is not a judge.
I expect more out of the table spotters.
I do too.
We'll have a conversation after this round.
Yeah, let's get these guys certified.
we have Min in the back. Local resident level 2 judge Min.
Oh, that's true.
He'd be very disappointed, table spotter. So Victor obviously is blowing this. And again, he misses his opportunity to Ghost Quarter. I would absolutely Ghost Quarter there. Yeah, so at this point, if Victor untaps and Supreme Verdicts,
yeah,
it's not look good. He still does have a Collected Company in hand, so he can rebuild a little.
Right. It's just not. You've wasted so many opportunities with this Ghost Quarter to keep him off of land that at this point it's just kind of a waste.
Yeah, the whole idea of a Green White Company deck is to, again, be Death and Taxes style, tax the resources. If we're just playing a creature deck, then it loses any value. Then you just have a Grizzly Bear.
Yeah, we're just playing beg Grizzly Bears.
Yeah. What is it? Snapcaster Mage? It's hard to tell with some of the new cards at this angle.
It is.
He does have going for him, though, that...
this is a Supreme Verdict.
Supreme Verdict, yeah.
So his hand, I believe, it now is 2 Lightning Bolts, a Mana Leak, and a Nahiri.
Yeah, so again, Victor's win condition just stabilized in the Nahiri until he gets Emrakul.
Yeah.
Haste
Oh,
out
there is
Emrakul.
a Vial. Nicholas just drew a Vial for turn.
I mean, I would still jam the Vial here. There's no reason not to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can play it at instant speed the rest of the game. Or at least, for your spells. I'm not sure how high his deck goes up, though. Because then there's always a decision of how high you let your Vial go. It's easier to have 2 Vials, obviously.
Yeah, I think 2 seems to be where you want to be. The only 3s we've seen so far have been the Smiters.
Yeah. No, that's a very, very good card against a control deck.
Yeah, Voice is solid here.
Voice, yeah, because you let it respond. I mean, he didn't respond to anything. And then
Oh, mana, here's a Vial.
Okay. Yeah, need some sticking power after the Supreme Verdict. Nick kind of wishes he had this last turn. Also makes his Cryptic Command look really bad on, you don't want a Cryptic Command on your turn. I don't know if he has another land, though.
Yeah, I didn't see another land, but he does have multiple bolts. So while it's not the best, he can always bolt the Voice and then use Cryptic to bounce next time he wants to counter something.
Yeah, because you most certainly don't want to double bolt a Smiter. Yeah, there's no reason to. He's also not he would just take 6 as everything stands right now next turn. He drops to 8. That's fine. Nick doesn't have any reach, so Victor can effectively go down to 1. Right. I don't think these decks, unless some of these decks play Stirring Wildwoods, but it doesn't seem to be a card that's probably in Nick's deck today.
It might be in there as like a 1 or 2 of, and he just hasn't drawn it, but
yeah,
it's certainly more efficient. To lean on.
Yeah, it's one of the more efficient, older.
Or snap timely reinforcements.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I like wasting my Snapcaster Mage on timely reinforcements to chump block.
No, it seems pretty loose.
Yeah, it seems like you get much more value out of a Snapcaster late game.
Absolutely. Especially when you've got a reasonable play without the Snapcaster.
Absolutely, yeah. Like you said, you bolt his Voice, and then you can counter tap, counter bounce.
Right. You can do whatever you want at that point.
I think Nick's running very well, though. There's a third Collected Company.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, he obviously just wants to hold that one in his hand. Again, I think it does have another Is that another Snapcaster in Victor's hand, the last card? I think it is. So again, land lets you do Snapcaster Supreme Verdict, but that's still not great, though, with the Voice in play. I do like not attacking with the Voice here, because I would certainly trade it with my Snapcaster away from Voice.
Or just 2
or 2 tokens.
Soldiers, yeah.
The plus side is Snapcaster Mage. If I leave it in play, then I can get the shenanigans of, Crypticing and bouncing my Snapcaster Mage and going down the value train.
Absolutely. A lot more options with Snapcaster in play than in the yard for this deck.
So I still think he's on the bolt the Voice token here. I'm sorry, bolt the Voice, let him get a token. I don't like Nahiri here at all. I mean, I guess he can protect it, so it's not the worst.
Yeah, you can protect it, and it's better to do all of these control plays when you have a Nahiri out. But in this case, we're just going to bolt the Voice, get a token. He's looking at this Collected Company. I would hold on the Collected Company because you can use that as a trick to grow the token.
Yeah.
If he tries to bolt the token as well.
So if you're Nick, do you Collected Company and a turn here?
Probably not. He's got 4 mana open.
Depends if you have a follow-up too, right? If you have a follow-up on your next turn,
right,
then it makes more sense to...
He's just got to land.
Yeah. I see Nick's representing the power and toughness. So for those of you at home, there's no counters on the voice token. The voice is the token says power and toughness equal to how many creatures it has in play.
Right. Yeah, that's a bit misleading to put the dice there, but
they're probably gonna have to start playing a little faster though if they're gonna finish this, because Victor tends to, as most control players do, draw the games out.
Is that a Brimaz that he drew?
That's a great card. Oh man.
It's a solid one. I didn't expect to see Brimaz today.
It's very tough to deal with in any sort of... I mean, obviously it's not boltable. You have to waste a path on it. You know, you get utility if you attack with it. You can't ambush Viper with a Snapcaster Mage. It's actually a very solid creature. At this point, I don't see why he's protecting his token. His token's not doing anything here if you're not turning it sideways.
Right.
Like, you need to pressure your opponent.
Just passing. Not willing to play into the Cryptic Command, which is reasonable. Down goes the Smiter. I think it's the 3rd Smiter we've seen die.
That is. Yeah, it's the 3rd Smiter, and he has the 3rd Cryptic in his hand. I mean, I'm sorry, 3rd Collected Covenant in his hand.
Wow.
He's drawing a decent half of his deck, but I mean, really he needs to thaw another lean on Arbiter or two.
So now, because he has the Brimaz, I do like end of turn Collected Company, even if Victor doesn't do anything here.
Yeah. And the point is, if Nick sits here, he can't win. Every turn that goes by, Victor's just going to stabilize. He has card advantage. As a control player, just wants to make land drop after land drop after land drop.
So here's the Nahiri.
This actually might hurt him, hurting Victor jamming it here. I'm not sure why he felt the need to jam here. Nick's been holding cards for a while, so he's clearly representing something.
Right. And he's not afraid to play extra lands because he's got 6 of them now.
Yeah. I imagine he's gonna go digging. He's just deciding what to pitch. Probably want to keep that Cryptic and Snapcaster Mage. You could also just not discard anything.
Yeah. The path doesn't do a whole lot for him here in this board state, with the Brimaz coming down next turn, and this Collected Company.
Imagine after board. Hopefully he has something like Selfless Spirit. That's a real strong card in the
Selfless Spirit's strong.
Yeah.
So I think Victor might be setting up a Snapcaster Supreme Verdict if he gets enough time.
If I'm Nick here, I'm playing these two and I'm Snap because it's already resolved. The Christian play. I'm Snap Ghost Courting my opponent. The land that's up right now.
Ghost Quarter that.
I don't need a million lands.
Second.
I
concur.
He's
untapped.
Yeah. So again, if you're playing this style deck, make sure you tax the resources. Nick's wasted probably 5 or 6 opportunities to really shut down Victor, who's clearly missing land drops.
Right. Another Ghost Quarter. Now we're getting him. Nope.
No, I think we're just stacking him. I would double Ghost Court him right now. Take Victor out of the game. Just beat him down with my creatures. He's got enough mana to cast Brimaz. He can cast every mana. He can cast every spell in his entire deck.
He's got another Arbiter in hand too.
Oh man. Yeah, because his Arbiter's already going to shut down fetches. If he double Ghost Quarters, plays an Arbiter, plays a Brimaz, this game's about over. Victor would have to like run a runner, untap mana sources. What's in his hand? His hand is another Bolt. He pitched the path last turn. His Spreading Seas doesn't do anything.
Got a Bolt.
No, I do not. I don't like this because he can just trade the Snapcaster for the Arbiter here. It's not doing anything else.
Bad.
Yeah. That's a 3/3, so I'm not sure what Victor's accomplishing here.
Yeah, I don't know what the plan is unless he has another path.
Everything at Nahiri. Nick needs to, if Nick wants to win this game, he needs to double Ghost Quarter his opponent.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's just going to say go. Yeah.
I think Nick realizes that that Victor is a young man with a lot of promise, and he doesn't want to shut him down too early in the tournament.
He's saying, "Look here, sonny boy. Back in my days, we played with Wastelands and strip mines."
Well, clearly he's never played with a Wasteland or a Strip Mine. Otherwise, he would be using these Ghost Quarters effectively.
Yeah, there was a gentleman at this store named Ben Broadingham who opened up a strip mine. So the question is, if you open that up as an invocation or whatever they're called, would you turn one strip mine to your opponent?
100%.
Absolutely. I have anything to announce that I open a strip mine and I get to strip mine you.
Eat the supreme verdict.
You don't care about your life total. No, you don't care about your life total here. He's not playing Kolaghan's Command. If this was a red-black deck, then I could see eating the Snapcaster Mage. But here, you don't care. The only card that you care about is the Supreme Verdict in the graveyard. So now Victor can... So
now he's eating a verdict. That's good. Eat a bolt.
Yeah, you might as well just... I might as well just wait till the end of turn at this point. What are we eating now? What phase is this?
This is main phase 1 in response to a Nahiri minus on the Scavenging Ooze.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, it's your only opportunity to get those. Might as well. And you're not doing anything else with your mana, clearly.
If you're Victor, why wouldn't you just do the Arbiter? Do you care that much about the Ooze? I mean, you have a million cards to deal with it. He has a card in his hands that deals with a Cryptic Command. Like, it's not going to kill you. Victor's gained 8 life over the course of this game.
All right, so we vialed in a Brimaz.
All right, so we know how one of the cards should work. Again, if I was Nick, I'd still use the opportunity to... Well, now it's completely wasted, but...
Yeah.
Gotta use those Ghost Quarters. I also don't like doing anything main phase.
Here's a Brimaz.
I absolutely don't like doing this main phase. I like just going to attacks.
Yeah, like if you're worried about Cryptic Command, the Thalia doesn't actually help you.
No. Leave it up to your opponent to make the decision here. If you're a creature deck, just send and play things post-combat. That's usually a newer player thing. Jam everything first main.
You just get very excited. You draw a card, you're like, oh, this is a sweet card. I want to play it.
Yeah, Thalia is a very sweet card here. But just, I think Victor would have had to do something, or otherwise he's taking, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he's taking a lot more than that. He's taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Unless I'm miscounting. That's half his life total. So is he...
Oh, now we're Ghost Quartering.
Get a red-blue source. I get the red-blue source here, right? Steam Bounce. Because Cryptic is triple blue.
I guess this is playing around Path.
So, again, I think Nick just passed up either a free Thalia or a free 10 damage. Because Victor really doesn't want... The tap mode is not the greatest mode. The tap mode is where you're going to lose the game if you don't do something. I don't really see what Victor's got going on here. Does he have a path in his graveyard? No, he doesn't have a bolt in his graveyard.
He has another Nahiri in hand, but he doesn't have a 4th mana to cast it. Otherwise, he could get rid of the Arbiter and the Brimaz and just leave Nick with the token.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything that Victor really could have done different. I would have dug for land, probably. He's going to kill it anyways.
Right.
If he tries to kill it, then he has to waste a lot of resources.
Oh, it wasn't another Arbiter. It was a Mirren Crusader.
That is a beat stick and a half. So if you want to see someone that's very good with the style deck, you should watch Craig Wesco. Craig Wesco has a fantastic habit when he plays any Death and Taxes style deck. At the end of every single one of his opponent's turn, he activates Aether Vial. So if you activate Aether Vial, you're giving the opponent the opportunity to respond. If they don't respond, you can choose to either violence something or not violence something.
But at that point, they can't respond.
They cannot respond. So the creature comes into play. There's nothing they can do about it. Because a lot of people think that you can respond when it's casting a spell. It is not casting a spell. It's a trigger, and then it puts a creature straight into play. I mean, that's probably my best block here. What happened? Oh, he pathed the Crusader. Okay.
Nick deciding to not pay 2 to search.
So he's hellbent. Okay, Victor drew a land, so he's getting someplace.
So he's going to hold off on playing this Nahiri until next turn so he can hit the Scavenging Ooze. Unless he drew another answer to it here.
It looks like he has, what, Fetch Land and Elspeth, Sun's Champion, which is a fantastic finisher. If this control deck can get to 6 mana, that card does an absolute lot of work. I don't know if anybody wants to show that up on the board, but one of the more powerful Planeswalkers. Initially, everybody thought at first it was unplayable because it's 6 mana, because we were spoiled with Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Right.
But it turns out that that card did have its heyday in the Sun, and it still is prevalent in any style of control deck in Modern. Especially a deck with like Nick's with no reach, no way to give his creatures trample that I can see yet. He might have a Gavany Township to pump his team, but at the rate of getting 3 tokens a turn, he quickly overwhelmed the opponent.
Right. Yeah, he's not gonna have an opportunity to do anything with that if
He's
Victor gets to 6.
Yeah, he's also gonna have to be careful because Elspeth has the other mode of destroying things.
Yep. Well, destroying all creatures power 4 or greater doesn't really hit much in Nick's deck. But it will hit this Scavenging Ooze now.
It'll hit the Scavenging Ooze, and eventually it'll hit the token too.
Right. I think the draw there was another voice.
So again, I'm not playing main phase spells here. I'm attacking again.
Yeah. Without the 4 mana open, there's not a lot that can punish you there, but you definitely want to keep all of the information you can from your opponent before the attack. This Scavenging Ooze can get big.
Are you going to go big here? Or are you going to attack Victor's resources? Because his resource is the graveyard at this point with Snapcaster Mages.
Yeah, I definitely am not interested in going big unless it's going to kill him.
Yeah, the turn. So what you're saying is a turn that he can kill him. If you can kill him doing it, then do it. Otherwise, you're just controlling Victor's graveyard.
Right, or just sit back. Like, you don't need to do it now.
Yeah, because especially before damage, Victor's simply like, all right, path your guy.
Right.
You know, he's doing a little shortcutting there, but you also, for the record, want to do any sort of activations one at a time in Magic. You don't want to try to shortcut.
Yeah, I famously punished one of my opponents at an old PTQ.
Yeah.
During Zendikar. He was like, end of turn. I was at 6. He's like, all right, end of turn, double bolt you, and I double negatived it, countered both of them.
Oh man!
Ended up winning the game. He felt real salty about it.
I mean, you know, it's the adage of it. You got to know how your deck works, guys. You know.
Yeah.
All right, so Victor went with this play, and if Victor can live till next turn, which it looks like it's going to, he's going to. Then he gets to play an Elspeth. So I'm not. I'm just. Are you setting both? Or are you just going to say, hey, it's got to deal with something? Because if he bolts the ooze, your token still takes care of it. But if he bolts the token, it doesn't take care of it.
Right. Yeah, I would send the token at Nahiri and then 2 at Victor.
Yeah.
Seems reasonable.
Sure. I imagine that Vial just goes up to 2 and stays there.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have played it.
Yeah, probably hiding information, but I've been yelled at frequently by 10K champ Lauren Nolan, who told me to stop holding lands in my hand. I have a horrible habit, especially in Limited. If I have nothing to do, I might hold 2 or 3 lands in my hand.
Sure.
With company, though, you can always represent that you have company.
Right.
But if I'm a smart player, if I'm Victor and I say, okay, I pass, and I can't counterspell your Collected Company, and you don't cast Collected Company, then you probably just have a land in your hand.
Right.
So.
All right, Elspeth has hit the board. Not good for Nick at all.
Nick's got to be careful here too. If he attacks both here and doesn't play a creature, I mean, Victor can start trading his tokens advantageously because it's a trigger when it goes to the graveyard, right?
Yeah.
So he could single block, then double block the voice, and Nick would just have a 1/1 token. That's a good play. He really needs to draw his other another collected company, or something that makes 2 threats. Like a Brimaz would be fine here.
Brimaz would be good.
Also, Brimaz is an interesting Magic card in that the token comes in attacking, so you can pick different targets. It's kind of like Geisty Saint Draft as another interesting Magic card. So we'll see how Victor should double block and single block. Okay, Victor sees it.
Yeah, this is a good block unless there's a Collected Company.
And you're fine. Path to Exile against a control deck. So I like Victor's block a lot there.
Yeah.
Also, that was the last card in Nick's hand. So again, Victor's just Elevator goes up. He also has his 4/4 back that now he can activate the Colonnade and he can just block these things. So I'm not sure what draw gets Nick back in this game, to be quite honest, because he has 4 blockers next turn. It'd have to be something like
it would have to be something incredible.
Collected Company and do some Magic card I'm not familiar with. You know, at this point, it's just academic. Draw, go.
Yep. Don't need to do anything else.
Again, they might.
The second Nick passes without attacking, that's basically the game.
If you're Nick, do you save time here and just scoop? Your first game's taking an awful long time.
So it's tough. You should, but you should have also done it like turns ago, and you should have also not let it get to this point by using the Ghost Quarters effectively.
I agree.
So,
yep.
I mean, if you're on that level of thinking, then
sure.
I mean, it's not a relevant decision anymore.
If I'm Victor, I hurry up here, though. I'm not sure what Victor's thinking about. He should just say go. Make tokens go, make tokens go, make tokens go, ultimate kill you.
Yeah.
We got same blocks again. Also, I would activate my Colonnade.
Probably.
He has a negate in his hand. He has access to Snapcaster Remand, which he can't do if he has a Colonnade anyways, but
I'm going to judge call here.
Almost positive they have to die. Yeah, that's correct, because the token's on him. Make sure they get a little bit of an extension for the judge call here, too. Yep. Correct, so it works like we thought it worked.
All dead.
And that would be correct, sir.
All right, so he has a 1/1 elemental token left.
Again, Victor here needs to start playing faster, because you definitely don't want to start an event like this with a draw.
Absolutely not.
Like you might as well just give a loss at that point.
Well, he's got 15 minutes. He only needs to win 1 round, and he's got this one solidly locked up.
I mean, because if I'm Nick, I'm certainly not scooping in round 1 of an IQ.
Absolutely not.
If this was an FNM, like maybe if you knew the guy, but there's no advantage for Nick scooping.
Victor might be out of basics.
He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd assume that's all he's going to play. He has 1 of each color, and he has double up on blue, so if it gets to a pickle, he can... How does Spreading Seas work with Blood Moon?
How does Spreading Seas work with Blood Moon?
Yes. If I Spreading Seas my own land, is it an island or is it a mountain?
I don't think we're in any danger at that point of becoming... Or we're in any danger in this game of that happening.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying if Nick Lutes sides in 4 Spirit Guides and 4 Blood Moons, you never know. Some of the company decks do side in like Amagus the Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a thing, even if you can't cast it.
Mirren Crusaders joined the fray, not to block though.
Oh, I would have ate this guy. No,
you get to eat 2 of them.
Yeah, I would have eaten 2 guys and just. If you have a path, like you can't win anyways at that point. If you have a path, then you're out of the game, even further. So you might as well just not give up 2 free damage. Although.
So how much damage is this if Victor ults? All the creatures get +2/+2 in flying, so it'd be 6 creatures plus.
Well, then he also has the Colonnade.
Right, and the Colonnade's going to represent 6 on its own.
He's going to have to.
It's 24.
He just has to block. Oh yeah, 2. I would just chump. Also, he has a Colonnade that he's not using again.
Right.
Smiter doesn't do anything. Yeah.
It saves the token.
I think Victor's trying very hard just to to make game one go as long as possible. It's the old. I feel like I'm watching Legacy Countertop.
All right, so we're going to see some action here with a Snapcaster. Oh. So you could bounce the Mirroring Crusader and draw a card here, which kills the token.
Yes. Yep. I actually like that. That's a good play.
And saves your guy. In this case, though, Nick has conceded the game. We're going into game 2 with 13 minutes. So Victor's up a game. Realistically, Nick can win the game in 13 minutes.
Oh, absolutely.
That's not unrealistic at all.
Especially on the play. If he goes turn 1, Noble Hierarch, into turn 2, Threat, like let's say Thalia or another locks it in Smiter and clocks him, and then he uses his resources this game because Lean and Arbiter plus Ghost Quarter. You can easily win this game. I mean, you're the beatdown. You're the aggro deck.
Right. It's definitely on Victor to survive this game. But being post-board, he gets to remove a lot of cards that don't do a lot against Nick.
So what are you going to take out if you're Victor? I'm not really sure what's in his sideboard, but truthfully it's some sort of
probably gets
enchantment removal, things like that maybe.
Yeah, I'm not
maybe another
super
Supreme Verdict.
Thrilled about that. Yeah, you want to go redundant on your sweepers. In terms of what's coming out, though,
do you still like Nahiri Emrakul after board?
No, I
especially
definitely
on
don't want,
especially on the draw.
Yeah, I definitely don't want Nahiri on the draw. I definitely don't want Emrakul on the draw. This Elspeth is perfectly fine. I probably don't have enough to take out all 4 Nahiris.
Yeah.
So leaving a couple of them in is okay. I mean, they are a removal spell.
Yeah.
Albeit an expensive one.
Do you like Remand if you're Victor here also?
It doesn't feel great, but it might like be a turn 2 play that's very good for you.
Yeah.
I think it all depends on what he feels he can bring in. It seems like he's already kind of pre-boarded for this matchup with the timely reinforcements.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely bring in timely reinforcements. If you're Victor, do you try to bring in a Wear Tear, some effect to that, or do you really care about the Aether Vials?
So the Aether Vials matter, but they actually slow Nick down a lot.
Yeah.
It would be much more relevant if Victor was playing something like Mana Leak.
Yeah. Also, I'm not. I mean, Nick's never going to cut your Aether Vials from an Aether Vial deck.
No.
But if I don't go turn 1 or turn 2 Aether Vial, they're basically dead cards because if we get to a long game, I'm going to have a lot of problems winning anyways.
Right.
But you're certainly never going to cut them.
I'd like to see some Lightning Helixes from Victor. I don't know if he's got it on the board.
That's a good point. Yeah, buff your life total. Ideally, you're not casting time to buff your life total.
No.
Post board is absolutely fine. Pre-game, results oriented. Take it for what it's worth. But I mean, it ended up working out. But I probably don't want him in my deck. But keep in mind the metagame is very creature heavy, very Jund Abzan. That does a good stand-in for Lingering Souls, although Lingering Souls is a slightly better card.
Significantly better card.
Slightly,
let's call it like it is.
It's slightly below average. It's no Bitter Blossom.
Yeah.
What was the 5-mana enchantment from Theros block? Where you
assemble
the Legion. What do you bring in assemble? Not here.
That wasn't from Theros block. I think that was from Return to Ravnica.
Ah, yeah, you're right.
But I would not bring it in here. I do like the card actually.
Yeah, in a control matchup.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be great. Attack you with 1 because they have haste too.
Yeah.
But that was a feels bad man card in Return to Ravnica. It wasn't quite as bad as Teza.
Oh yeah.
The 4/7. What is it? Vigilance, protection from creatures. When something did damage to destroy the creature, and they get a spirit. That was the feels bad man card of that format. All right, great start from Nick.
Turn 1 Hierarch, very solid. A Logic Knot in hand for Victor.
He must not have had a lot to take out. I don't like Logic Knot here.
Taking 2 to cast the Serum Visions.
Do you like Logic Knot as opposed to Mana Leak, or you just
so Logic Knot has a little bit more reach in the late game, which is good, but it taxes your mana. So which in Modern means that you're going to be dealing yourself more damage to be able to cast it. So it lowers your chances of getting to that late game.
Oh, kept a 1-lander. He needs to rip here. I see Collectic coming, Mirroring Crusader. He might not get a chance to play him.
Man, if Victor has a Bolt here, Holy smokes, this is bad.
He has an EE. That doesn't do much. Here, at least. Yet.
Yeah, he might just have to land go.
So I always find Del spells interesting with control decks. So you have Death Shadow, which is not really a control deck.
Right.
They can dub away all the dead cards. Logic Knot's obviously a very powerful Magic card, but to what expense, though, with any deck that has Snapcaster Mage that's like this?
Right, so there are cards that you're probably not going to Snapcaster. Like, you don't need both of these Serum Visions in your yard. You don't need fetches in your yard.
Again, it just feels sort of awkward because I'm not sticking a Gurmag Angler or a Tasker on turn 2, right?
Right.
So you kind of need your resources. It looks like Nick missed again.
Yeah, so Modern's definitely a format where you need to mulligan aggressively. Like, if you don't have your best hand against their best hand, you're going to lose no matter what the matchup looks like.
So you would have definitely mulliganed the 1-land Noble Hierarch 3/2 drop hand?
I don't know that he has 3/2 drops. If he does, it changes a little bit. But in this case, man, the timely reinforcements on 3 feels good here.
Again.
In this case, I probably would have.
Looks like he bricked again.
I mean, drawing 2 drops isn't really a brick.
In my mind, how Nick, he's going to have to go wide at some point or rub this over. Collected Company is by far the best resource to do it in your deck. Or get to the point where he can play 2 spells. If he's just playing 2 drops every turn.
Right. But, I mean, if you want a way to make it so that you're a little bit better in the late game,
yeah,
like delaying this Collected Company goes a long way to that.
How do you feel about attack with your Arbiter instead of the voice there?
I like attacking with a voice if you have a backup.
Yeah, and he has
which
backup.
He did. And he also has a backup Arbiter, so either way is fine.
I'm just afraid if Victor goes untap Mana Source Supreme Verdict here, you've got a 1/1 token and 1 basic land in play.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good, but you're 1 land away from getting an Arbiter, and then I think that's a Kasali Pride Mage.
There we go.
There's a land.
Do control decks ever side in prison effects, or you just really don't like prison effects against creature decks? People are very divisive on the on that point.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan, but they have had some results. So
yeah, like the red white, you can't play Magic deck.
Right.
That runs main deck Chalice, main deck Blood Moons, and then they went with what Nahiri or Cough, something along that line.
The old Sun and Moon deck.
That's what I was stretching for, because I always think Wheel of Sun and Moon in my head, and it clearly doesn't belong in that deck.
I think this is a Rest in Peace in hand for Nick.
Is
that third card a Rest in Peace?
I think it is.
That could be pretty solid here.
Yeah, if I'm the green-white player, I always bring in Rest in Peace against these control-style decks. As soon as their Snapcaster Mages turn to Ambush Vipers, that's really good for you. Oh, don't get me wrong, I've lost the Ambush Vipers before because you still have to have something to follow it up with. You can't just rely just on the Rest in Peace, but Man Crusader.
Yeah, that's not good.
All right, now he's just kind of holding his breath and saying, "Don't Supreme Verdict me." Does he have any sort of cantrip in his hand? Does Victor?
Victor, no. He's going to pay 2 to be able to search.
He's going to search and then
fetch.
Logic Knot this?
And then Logic Knot for 1.
Yeah.
Unless he has a Supreme Verdict, then he doesn't even need a Logic Knot.
I don't think he has it. He still has the EE. I don't want to EE for 3. I probably want to EE for 2. EE for 2 is not even that great here anymore, though.
No. E for 2 is actively not good unless he plays the Arbiter pre-combat.
Going to play attack?
Yeah, he's not Logic Knotting here. That's...
He already has a red sword.
He
drew the Supreme Verdict. Oh. Well, I'd say that's good, but Victor's still not out of the woods here. He's got to close out this game in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
He
doesn't need to. He just needs to live for 4 minutes.
Yeah. I'm not Rest in Peace here. I'm jamming creatures. I got to win this game now.
Yeah, you have to win. You have 4 minutes. You can't afford to slow roll this.
I play the Pride Mage. I play the Pride Mage, swing for 3. That's my game plan now.
Yeah. Swing for one is not going to win you this game, Nick Lutes.
Yeah. Remember, the life total is a resource, but also you got to remember the clock's up there too.
Every time Victor untaps, this game gets further and further away from Nick.
Yep.
Man, plussing it is such a slap in the face here.
Right. It's just saying I don't care what you have going on.
Yeah.
You're not going to kill me.
I'm at 11.
You could definitely make the argument that I would just kill his only threat, right?
Right.
Because there's nothing that's going to come down and take care of that.
We've drawn the third copy of Rest in Peace, I believe.
I mean, if Victor cared about that, you know, I just don't see what this is doing for him. Again, play that. Do you have an attack Nahiri? I think I'm just attacking Victor.
Yeah, attack.
I can't kill the Nahiri. He's gonna get a loot out of it anyways. Like,
it's just wasting time.
Yeah.
It's gonna go back up to 5.
He's gonna have to deal with it again. Now he's got a Snapcaster and Bolt in hand.
Well, the Snapcaster is just an ambush viper here, but
yeah, that's more than enough though.
Yeah. Don't even need
pitches
our ambush
it.
vipers.
We just don't care. Who needs to block?
So Victor doesn't need to win. He just needs to not lose.
Or just rip another Supreme Verdict. Yeah, so I think, you know, hindsight's 20/20, obviously, but I think Nick definitely could have won game 1.
Nick
it might be a
definitely
stretch
could
to
have
say
won game 1.
should have, because Magic doesn't work like that. But
Right. I would almost be willing to make that stretch.
Yeah.
So there it is. Nick has conceded. There is the game, the match, even. Victor takes it down. Definitely want to win going into round 2.
Yeah.
Goes
absolutely.
without saying, but not having that draw is so important.
Yep.
I hope Nick goes back and watches this.
I think there's a lot for him to.
Yeah, there's a lot for Nick to learn there.
I think this is a newer deck from him too, so hopefully he learns a little ins and out intricacies there.
Absolutely. But you guys sit tight for another 2 minutes. We'll be back with round 2 and get a new hot matchup for you.
Thanks for watching Top Deck Productions, your home for live weeknight Magic the Gathering. We'll be back with more live Magic shortly, so stay tuned. Don't forget to follow us here on Twitch to be notified of when we go live. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe as well. You can also check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/TalkTechProductions, on Twitter at twitter.com/TalkTechProds, and YouTube at youtube.com/TalkTechProductionStream. Modern players, GameSwap Mason has you covered this August with 2 premier Modern events. On August 5th, be sure to check out the Star City Games Modern IQ, featuring $1,000 in prizes, and 2 invites to the Season 2 Star City Games Invitational this December in Roanoke, Virginia. On August 12th, GameSwap Mason is hosting their Modern PPTQ, featuring cash prizes and an invite to the RPTQ for Pro Tour Rivals of Ixalan. Can't make it out to either event? Top Tech Productions will have you covered with live coverage all day long for both events, so be sure to tune in for all the hot Modern action. Again, that's the Star City Games Modern IQ August 5th and Modern PPTQ August 12th at GameSwap Mason and broadcast live at Top Tech Productions. Standard players, Hour of Devastation Game Day is coming to GameSwap Mason the weekend of August 5th and 6th. Don't miss your chance to play with some of the hottest new decks from the Pro Tour, or your latest and greatest brews as the all-new Hour of Devastation standard format rolls on. Entry to each event is just $5 and allows you to battle with friends new and old as you compete for your chance to become Game Day Champion. Again, that's Hour of Devastation Game Day weekend at GameSwap Mason, August 5th and 6th. Don't miss out.